Okay, so good morning, everybody. This is Pete Erickson, the founder of Modev, and I am really pleased this morning to introduce our next live stream speaker guest, Steve Keller from Pandora. Steve, good morning.
Morning. Happy to be here.
Well, it's great to have you. And I was heartened to learn that we live in the same region. You're currently out east with me in the DC area, but I understand we're losing you to the West Coast. Is that true?
Yes, it's true. I've been out here in DC for a couple of years, but since the hire by Pandora in December, I've just found the commute to Oakland a little too long. So yes, I'm headed out that way to that coast, but I have a feeling I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between the coasts a lot. So I'll be back.
I would think so. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. So you're at Pandora now, but you've got a long background in this space, and I think one thing that's fun is for so many people, the voice first era is new. This is a new arena, but it's really been around for quite some time. Tell us a little bit about your background and then your journey to now being with Pandora.
Sure. And I know we're trying to keep these things short, so I'll abbreviate that journey because it's a long and varied one.
Right.
But essentially my journey encompasses three passions in my life. So the first is music. Ever since I was a kid, I took piano lessons, taught myself how to play the guitar, wrote songs as an effective dating tool in high school and college. But I had never really considered it a career. So when I went to university, I studied psychology. I was always drawn to helping professions. So my plan was to get a degree and then go on and do the grad work and either work in social psychology or maybe even have a practice. And during that time between graduating from university and then getting ready to go to grad school, there was no real aha moment. I think I just gave myself permission to do something different. And rather than going to grad school, I took a detour to Nashville and lived in Nashville for 30 years and pursued that music passion, worked in everything from A&R to music publishing to artist management. I was also a composer and a writer, and during that time started doing a lot of music and composition for advertisements, advertising agencies. And it was through that I found that I just had a love for advertising and branding. And so in 2005, I pulled all of those passions together, launched my own company, and really dived deeply into this world of audio branding, where we look at the psychology of sound, music science, design, research, testing, bringing that to bear on everything we know about the art of music and sound and voice, and then how we can use all of that to shape consumer perception and behavior in branding and marketing. And so I had my own company for about 14 years, had started working with Pandora, doing some consulting. They hired me to begin working on their own sonic identity. And in that process, we realized that we were really just in love with each other and needed to put a ring on it. So they hired me as the sonic strategy director. And I'm thrilled. Obviously, I would not have made this jump from my own company to Pandora if I didn't feel like we could push the envelope of sound science and sound art in new and interesting ways. And that's what we're doing.
Wow. I got to tell you, that's I think one of the most interesting backgrounds that I've heard. And I love how you bringing art and music composition and all that background into, now we are in this new era. It's really some call it the voice first era. Really, it's kind of the audio era, really. So let's talk a little bit about that. And by the way, so we are you may not know this, but there is going to be a house band for Voice Summit.
Oh, nice.
And I'm sorry, dude. I'm going to have to recruit you into that effort.
Oh, well, I found out in Nashville there were a lot of people who could play, sing, and write so much better than I could. So hey, I concentrated on the production end. So I'll produce the band. How's that?
I won't give my age, but I'm past 50. But I took voice lessons all winter. So I want to encourage anybody out there. It's never too late to
it is never too late
to get your music career started. And for the record, I was in a punk band when I was in high school and college. So anyway, but I digress. Let's talk about Pandora.
Yeah.
Obviously an iconic brand. When it comes to the music industry, I think most people out there have a Pandora account. And really, and I remember the community events that Pandora was doing at the time because of the licensing issues and really trying to rally people around this idea that music should be more accessible to everybody.
Right.
And that the artists that should then be able to participate in that revenue more from almost a micro licensing standpoint. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about your role there and what the strategy is, and anything that you can share with us would be great.
Sure. I think what we're doing is, to your point, we are a music company. That's where our roots are, the music genome, that project where, we've developed some machine learning technology, but we still have human curators who work on the Music Genome Project. So it's this beautiful marriage of AI and human interface and knowledge. So that's our roots. But through the years, the science piece of it has grown exponentially. So we're not just a music company, we're a science company and a data company. And so that's my passion. I often refer to myself as an audio alchemist, which really is about this blending of science and art. And when you do it well, it seems like magic, even though it's not. And so what we're doing is now trying to elevate, to your point, the discussion about sound and audio to a place where it's not the last thing that a brand thinks about, but one of the first. And that's where my mission as a strategist comes into play. Because we so often think of music and sound and even voice in a creative silo. And yes, there's an art to it and it is creative, but we don't often think about what's behind the choices that we're making. The choice for that particular voice, the choice for that particular music. We're not thinking about the ways that it impacts our behavior, our perception. I've been involved a lot in research around sound and taste, and how we can shape your perception of flavor, not just by what we're putting in your mouth, but also by what we're putting in your ears. And it's fascinating when you begin to understand the power of that. So what we're doing at Pandora now is taking a look at how we can leverage all of our knowledge strategically in a way that is, quote unquote, beyond the platform. So it's strategy that is platform agnostic. So yes, it informs what we do for brands and advertisers on our channel, but it's also helping them understand how to make choices, how to build an identity, how to look at innovation and activations experientially in every touch point, whether that be television, whether that be voice activated technology, whether that be something that's playing in a retail environment, whether it be what you hear when you call on hold. All of those touch points, you're making choices, and we're just trying to help our clients make better choices and really see a return on that investment.
So I think where the evolution is coming to is the brands that we interface with every day. It's incumbent upon them now to have a sonic brand strategy.
Yeah. And you start to say system, and yes. I think that's true too. Right. You need to think of sound systematically.
Yes. So And Pandora has a broad user base, has engagement, and multiple channels now through which Pandora is engaging, whether I'm in the car or in my home or just via my phone.
Right. And now we have the Sirius part of that,
yes.
and we're working with SoundCloud. So we're tied into a lot of channels at this point.
And I get it. So now you're layering on this sort of sonic branding, capabilities and knowledge and know-how. And I think that's where I see this. It's kind of like the reverse Big Bang. It's all coming together.
Yeah.
And that's what's so exciting, I think, about this year's Voice Summit versus last year's. Last year, we just got the party started and everybody, a lot of people showed up. We were very fortunate about that. This year, it seems that it's getting organized. The band is getting organized. The music is starting to happen.
Right.
And Steve, we are thrilled to have speakers like you as a part of this, to have iconic brands like Pandora, coming to Newark and participating fully in this event. I think that before we wrap up here, I'll just share my screen real quick to give an example of the many ways that you're going to be involved in this event. If you look at, you are giving one of our esteemed talks on the main stage.
Yeah.
And you're going to be a part of a couple different panels taking a look at this, both from an entertainment media publishing side,
right,
but also on the actual human side and how the human element fits in with sonic branding. And I just think I see this all coming together. And I think you're probably one of the perfect examples of where this industry is going. So Steve, thank you so much again.
Well, you're welcome. I'm so excited to be there. Also, I've looked at the agenda and it's just amazing the potential for knowledge transfer. And I'm excited to be there because I know I'm going to be learning some things as well. It's a new era. It's the Wild West. There's a lot of chaos, but there's potential in that chaos.
Where there's chaos, there's opportunity. And yeah, Steve mentioned there's a wealth of knowledge transfer there. We have more than 300 speakers joining us at the end of July 22nd through 25th. The website I've got pulled up here, voicesummit.ai. Tickets actually go up tonight a little bit. So if you're so inclined, jump online, grab a ticket. And if you just want to understand what this new era is all about, imagine being at an event just before the internet exploded, or being at an event right when mobile was about to take off, and being able to get insights from the people that are shaping those industries. That's where we are with Voice. I would encourage anybody that wants to understand the space and get ahead of the curve to come join us at Voice Summit. We've made it very affordable, accessible, and inclusive. And there are scholarships available to those that are students that may not be able to afford the ticket. We want everybody to be able to have a chance to be there. So Steve, thanks again, and look forward to seeing you in Newark.
Thank you, Pete. I'm looking forward to seeing you there too.
Cheers.
Bye.